Hi everybody, I'm Ray Colvin, the host of Racks and Tracks TV. Every year when I shoot my deer, I never take this thing to the processor. I never have. I like to process all my deer myself, and I showed you earlier in the year how I cut my deer up. Now I'm going to show you on how I grind my meat. And you don't have to be a butcher to do this. I mean, anybody can do this. I mean, this is what it looks like when I'm done with it. I make sure that there is no fat, absolutely no fat on this meat. And it doesn't matter how you cut it up. I mean, you're whacking it. You're taking your knife and you're just cutting it in chunks. You're cutting it in chunks, you're cleaning it just so it fits in this grinder. I've got just a small grinder here. It's not very big. It's a 2.5 pound grinder, so which ain't very big. It's just enough to grind my meat up, but that's all I use. But the key is this. You see this pile of stuff right here? This is fat, cartilage. I mean, look at the big chunks of fat off this. Look at this. This is just disgusting. That's awful. A lot of times when you take this to the butcher, I'm not saying all butchers, but a lot of butchers throw this in there. Throw this in there. I mean, it's amazing the stuff you get back. I mean, you're eating that fat. What I do, now here's what a piece would look like. And most of the time they would wash this, cut it up in chunks, maybe cut a little bit of this little bit of fat off it here, like this, and throw it in a pile, and the rest of that's going into your burger. They don't take the time at all to clean this stuff like it properly should be cleaned. This is what my meat looks like before it goes in the grinder. You see that? There is no fat on that meat at all. And the key is, you clean it like this, your wild taste is gone. What I like to do is all this little cartilage, I take my meat, I slice it. I'll tell you what, I love these outdoor edge knives too. You can see I got a pile of them here. These things work, are sharp. They are just unbelievable. I cut it in chunks. Like I say, anybody can do this. I wash it real well. Got to make sure you get all the hair off it. Now I like to take seasoning as soon as I find it. I like a seasoned salt myself. I order this, and what I do is I sprinkle this stuff on the meat on both sides, nice. So I'm already seasoning my hamburger before I grind it. Now I take it and I cut it in small chunks so it fits into my grinder here. Always check it for hair. I just found a little piece of hair on there. And look at this. This is seasoned, 100% pure, no fat burger when you're done with this. And another key is this. If you mix any beef suet with your meat, what that will do, that won't last near as long in the freezer as it would if you didn't put suet with it. So I don't put no suet, I put nothing with that meat. That stuff will last in my freezer for a year, no problem. You put fat with it, that's what spoils, that's what goes bad. Okay, it's going to be a little bit noisy here. I'm going to grind this little piece here up. Okay, check this out. That is 100% pure burger. There is no fat at all in that meat. And that's a lot healthier for you than the stuff you buy in the store, the beef that's full of fat. or bringing your deer in to get it processed, and they throw a lot of that fat in there. Look at this meat. You can tell by looking at your meat. You see any white in that meat? Any white? You know what that white is? That white's fat, cartilage, skin, whatever it is, veins, I don't know. There's nothing in this meat, 100%. You will not get a better tasting and a healthier burger. Do it yourself. It doesn't take that long. Anybody can do it. You ain't got to be the butcher to do it. Cut it up, season it, throw it in the grinder. I'm Ray Colvin, Racks and Tracks. That's your tip of the week. Feed the obsession. One more tip for you. A lot of people look at this meat and they go, well, that's an awful lot of meat you're wasting there. You know what? I'm not wasting meat. I take all this meat, everything here that's stuck to all this fat and this cartilage, I take it, and if it's too warm outside, I stick it in the freezer. I freeze it solid. I wait till winter time. I put those inside of my bird feeders. Stuff them inside those wire bird feeders, and the birds will eat that all winter long, man. You get to feed the birds too. You get to enjoy the birds out in the backyard. So all this ain't going to waste. It's all going right out in my yard, and the birds will be feeding that all winter.